We've been gone for like 4 days, babysitting for our grandchildren. And so here is what the garden looks like after it's been ignored for 4 days. These lilies here have bloomed since we were gone. Well, isn't that nice? And they have a really good smell. And these here are done blooming and need to be deadheaded. I'm just cutting these off because they go across the path. We got a ton of them anyway. This looks like it's going to be echinacea starting to bloom. Here's yellow or yarrow cerise queen. This is a pincushion flower. I just planted it this year. This is an area of the flower that definitely needs to be worked on. The grass needs to be pulled up, and the irises need to be moved. This is lamb's ear. It's getting ready to bloom. It's got tall purple flowers. This is centuriae, sometimes called cornflower. These are going to be tiger lilies when they bloom. They're one of my favorites. Now this is my phlox. I've been wanting to have phlox for so long, and I think I bought these this spring, and they're blooming now. Now this is a regal lily. Ordinarily they're pretty heavy and they fall over because of the blooms or something, but in this case I think what's happening is I've noticed lots of these lilies falling over like this, or breaking. Looks like. I think what happens is birds land on them, and the weight of the bird is so much it breaks the stalk. I think these are going to be a wild primrose. They're pretty tall, weedy flower with small yellow flowers. It's getting to be that time of year when so many things are done for the year, and they just kind of turn brown. And this rose here, it's not in a very good place. So in the spring, I'm afraid to move it before that. I'm going to dig it up and put it over here in front of this window. And this other taller stuff is going to come out. So there'll be just moss roses or portulaca. This is, Julie likes them because there's so many different colors on the blooms. And this is just some sedum that I planted. It was like a whole tray, and you plant the whole tray, and it's kind of lost its rectangular shape now. But I like to have this whole flower bed covered with moss roses, and maybe have a rose there and one there. And this is a hibiscus. Looks like it's going to be blooming here pretty soon. And the rest of this stuff is coming out. This bee balm is definitely too tall for in here. This hibiscus, I've had it for a few years, and you can see how big it. Every year that the foliage dies back to the ground, and then these stems become, they're basically dead. So I just cut them off at ground level. So I need to cut this one off more. Here's a new one coming up, and then see by next year that'll be old hardwood, dead. And here's a bunch of geraniums I planted in here. I guess these flowers need to come off. These are lemon lilies, and you can see they're getting ready to bloom. These raspberries are going strong. You can see we can't even keep them picked. There's so many of them. I think for next year, this side's coming out and going to be flowers. We'll just have those over there. These are black raspberries. You can tell when they're ripe, they turn black, and the red ones are not ripe yet. Okay, look at all the black ones. It's just impossible to keep them picked. Of course, we've been gone for 4 days, so that don't help. Very good though. This garden here is really suffering from not having anybody here. It's filling up with morning glories, and the seeds I planted just are not coming up. I don't see any of them coming up. These over here are coming up. Those are California poppies. This looks like butterfly flower, they call it on the package. These volunteer too, and at the moment the name just slipped my mind. I can't say it. I planted a whole row of zinnias here. This is a volunteer morning glory. This is one of the seeds coming up, I think. There's one. Here's all these strawberries I planted this year. They seem to be doing pretty good. These seeds are not coming up over here either. The plants are doing okay. There's a couple tomatoes on here and some peppers. One. So I'm gonna get out here today, and it seems like more than anything else while I was gone, the garden needs to be watered.